Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here today and speak to you about the topic that I find interesting, important, and challenging, that of guiding exercise and physical activity for all of us, and especially for those affected by connective tissue disorders. And I have to start with a warning. I think it's true. There's so many benefits that we all understand about routine exercise with regard to our health and our well-being, ranging from cardiovascular benefits to lowering the risk of certain types of cancer and to living longer. So how do we get information that's safe and practical for those who have hereditary aneurysm syndrome, who are at risk for certain levels of physical activity that derive tremendous benefits routine recreational activities? So we're going to talk about what types of exercise are safe, how much exercise is safe. And this is something that we all know. We do not always have the right answer. We typically err on the side of being safe, as opposed to taking risks when it comes to certain levels of physical activity and sports participation, especially when it comes to competitive athletics. Not so much so recreational sports. And what's clear is, in this area, there are no randomized controlled trials where someone or a group of people with Marfan or Loeys Dietz or hereditary aneurysm syndrome, where that population is subject to intense exercise or exercise at any level versus a sedentary lifestyle comparing outcomes. We just don't have that information. So much of the data and much of the advice comes from really practical information, consensus, and expert opinion, and really understanding what exercise physiology is like and what might be predicted based on certain types of physical activity with regard to cardiovascular response. For some with Marfan syndrome and related disorder, it's really not the blood vessel that guides what levels of physical activity are safe and appropriate. They see extra arterial manifestations. That could involve the eyes, the skeleton, or the lungs, or the thoracic cage. And for others who have cardiovascular features, it's not the aorta predominantly, but it's the underlying heart function, whether there be heart muscle disease, valvular disease, certain types of cardiac arrhythmia, or the use of medication like a blood thinner may impact what level of physical activity we recommend or prohibit. But for most, it's concerns about the aorta and what is the effect of this type of activity on the aorta, either abruptly or over time. And there are differences depending upon the age of the individual, the underlying condition that's present, and the size of the aorta with regard to absolute and with regard to relative risks when we talk about different activities. Some aortas are normal size or near normal size, which carries a different risk than an aneurysmal aortic group. And that risk is different than some who have an aortic dissection. So we have to think of many factors when guiding an individual. And it's difficult to write a guideline which encompasses all circumstances in a broad document. So really individual decision making has to take place. So exercise physiology 101, when we talk about the demands on the heart and the vasculature, well, they really do depend upon the type of exercise, the level of intensity, the strain that's present, whether one's fit or not fit, because certain activities put a big demand on the heart for someone who's quite sedentary, where someone who's in better shape to do that activity with very little change in their heart, blood pressure, heart rate response. So thinking about the two main types of exercise, I think of dynamic exercise, dynamic meaning muscles move. So walking, jogging, swimming, riding a bicycle, where blood vessels dilate, and there's really little change in blood pressure during modest levels of dynamic exercise. And that's opposed to isometric or static exercise, where muscles contract without movement. And in this type of exercise, especially during intense training, where you have to run for bear down, push and strain to lift weights against the body weight or more, there's a big surge in blood pressure which can occur during intense isometric exercise. So one type of exercise, isometric, is more preferred in connective tissue disorders. Doesn't mean that you can't do isometric exercise. When we do that, we choose light amounts of weights and repetitions where you don't levels of competition. When we think about most athletics for someone with an underlying connective tissue disorder, it's really recreational sports that's preferred. When we talk about competition, there are several factors. It involves systematic training, where the goal really is to be the best you possibly can be, to try your hardest, to achieve excellence, to push yourself to your natural boundaries, as opposed to recreational sports, which are fun, involve fitness, and lead to tremendous benefits, and are safe. How do we predict blood pressure and heart rate response to different types of physical activity? Well, there are ways to do this roughly, and the numbers don't mean the same for every individual, but by and large, we use the metabolic equivalent task for the men. And you'll be happy to know that each one of you in this audience is expending energy by sitting here listening to this lecture. One man. Not much, but it's one man. And when you exercise, the amount of energy that you expend is relative to the amount of intensity and the level of that activity. So a MET value of 5 would indicate expending 5 times the energy or calorie expenditure that you would at rest. And roughly, you can predict blood pressure response to different levels of metabolic equivalent. So systolic blood pressure, the top number rises about 8 to 12 millimeters of mercury per MET anaerobic activity. And because higher levels of blood pressure lead to greater aortic wall stress, or more stress on blood vessel walls, we recommend limiting physical activity to avoid intense straining in physical activity because of the higher blood pressure response. And there are lots of tables and charts which help predict how much energy do I spend depending on certain types of activity. So light activities such as leisurely walking, working in your house at light levels, fishing, playing most musical instruments, are very low metabolic demands. Whereas hiking up a big hill with a heavy weight of 10,000 feet, or carrying heavy loads, playing competitive singles tennis, or doing heavy farm work, they're much more metabolic demand and a higher load on the aorta. And there's everything in between, depending upon levels of intensity. The Heart Association and American College of Cardiology has created a table to try to help predict in competitive athletics the levels of peak static or isometric demand and peak dynamic or movement demand, and the level of impact or collision that can occur with sports. And this is helpful for young athletes that want to do competition when they have certain cardiovascular disorders, including Marfan Annual disorders. So in the lower left are the lowest amounts of impact in isometric isotonic activity like golf, bowling, or yoga in competition. And to the lower right, the field hockey and soccer where there's high levels of dynamic or muscle movement activities, or weightlifting or rock climbing, which involves more isometric or straining or pulling. And these are just higher demands. So when you have an underlying connective tissue disorder and want to compete at a certain level, there are really disqualification recommendations based on underlying conditions for the highest levels of these competitive sports. And as you well know, young people, children, toddlers, little league games, things like that, tumbling, all sorts of activities that small children do are very safe for most individuals, depending upon their conditions. But as you age, you get more competitive and more strain and stress, and more training is involved with these levels of competition. Levels of collision, contact, and training become more intense. So when one has an underlying connective tissue disorder where physiology like this is predicted really earlier in life, it's important to try to streamline competitive sports and activities which are going to be safer. Again, recreational activities have a much different level of physical demand. Okay, so the elephant in the room is really, what I do affect my aorta? Is there any data that says it will exercise perfectly? Can it cause an aortic dissection, or can it lead to a progressive enlargement of my aorta? I don't want to see any of you look like him. And if you do, I'll send you to Hal to have genotyping. intense isometric activity has been associated with aortic dissection. And this individual did suffer aortic dissection. In a normal aorta, it's incredibly resilient. So we don't expect a normal aortic wall to lead to aortic rupture. But if an underlying connective tissue disorder occurs, there is this risk. What about aortic enlargement if a connective tissue disease is present? There really aren't any good studies that examine people with connective tissue disorders following them longitudinally with exercise at various levels to see what is the effect. We know in elite athletes from large databases like Italy, where athletes undergo screening echocardiograms, the average aortic size is a little bit larger in the most elite athletes compared to controls, and is even larger in endurance-trained athletes, like competitive cyclists, than in strength-trained athletes. But these don't always control for body size and height, so there may be some error in that measurement. But an interesting study did look at powerlifters and weightlifters from Iran, and these were individuals without recognized connective tissue disorder. And you can see that the aortic size was a little bigger in all these strength-trained athletes in the proximal segment of the aorta compared to controls. And the blue bars represent the athletes at the beginning of their training time. So these are athletes who have trained less than 18 months. And the green bars look at athletes who have trained for the longest period of time, over 4 years. And the longer the training, the larger the aorta was in those athletes. So there may be something to that in strength-trained athletes. Thankfully, sudden death in athletes is very rare. And this is when writing guidelines try to be most mindful. We want to prevent any sort of catastrophe in an athlete. If you look at databases of sudden death related to sports and competitive athletes, it's thankfully not very common. But aortic disease does represent a small segment, 2% in this bar study. Most cases are related to undiagnosed disorders like hypertrophic cardiomyopathy or anomalies of the coronary arteries which arise from the wrong side of the heart. With regard to risk of exercise of Marfan syndrome per se, or Lowy-Dietz syndrome or other aneurysm syndromes, again, very little data. It often comes to attention when somebody had not previously been recognized as having the condition suffers a catastrophic event, as did these two elite athletes over the years. In a series from the United States Registry of Sudden Death in Athletes, the largest database as such, those are individuals under 40 years of age, 1% suffered aortic dissection or rupture. So an important but a small number of these catastrophes. And as you'd expect, Marfan syndrome, typically undiagnosed before the event, or a related disorder was the underlying cause. Importantly, a tenfold increase in males, perhaps related to the types of physical activity that was being performed during the sudden event. There's no information from this database about what the aortic size was when these events occurred. This was really more of an autopsy series or a death certificate series. Occasionally, elite athletes at the very highest level of their profession are discovered to have an underlying connective tissue disease, having made it with regard to the aortic health to the highest levels. And because of the current guidelines, these individuals are generally disqualified from continuing this very important part of their lives, which is probably one of the most devastating things that we can do to somebody socially and professionally. And we try to do it mindfully and as safely as possible. And we don't really know what would happen to individuals like these two gentlemen if they participated, because we don't have large data sets to understand that. So guidelines, again, look at competitive sports and really have restricted intense physical activity for athletes to the lowest levels of dynamic and static sports, whether it be related to Marfan syndrome, Lowy-Dietz syndrome, vascular aortic syndrome, or familial aneurysm syndrome. And again, emphasizing the competition for athletes at college age or beyond, high school and college and beyond, to avoid sports that involve intense competition, collision, or the highest levels of physical activity. this differs than recreational sports, which I'll turn to. It's important to know that many take medications to protect the aorta or treat blood pressure in Marfan syndrome-related disorders, including beta blockers, which slow the heart rate response and lessen the force against the aortic wall due to heart contraction. And so they can limit heart rate response to physical activity. That's a known and desirable effect of this medication. But it doesn't allow the person who has Marfan syndrome or related disorder to now perform strenuous exercise with a different level of safety. Losartan similarly can have protection to the aorta in many connective tissue disorders. It does not have an effect on the heart rate, but again doesn't protect against the effects of exercise at higher levels on aortic wall stress. And in others, anticoagulation has an impact as far as risk of bleeding. One has to use that as an emphasis when designing sports activity or exercise. Now, there is a study of exercise in Marfan mice looking at aortic structure. So, 4 people Marfan mice were taken in this study in Canada and compared to wild type or normal mice, and they were subjected to voluntary and forced exercise. Treadmill or on a huge wheel. And then the aortas were compared after 5 months of this fun for relaxation. And interestingly, the Marfan mice that exercise actually had an improvement in their aortic wall structure and function. And there was a graded level of benefit, with the most benefit seen at kind of moderate levels of physical activity, which we compared to about 60% of maximum. And then it tapered off as we went to the highest levels of physical activity. And interestingly, when the enzymes were examined, the MMPs, which help break down or harmfully break down matrix proteins in the wall of the aorta, they had less expression of these harmful enzymes in the aortic wall of exercising Marfan mice. Now, as Hal has taught us all, people are not mice. So whether this pertains to people with Marfan syndrome, we don't know. But we do know that exercise is important for health and well-being in all sorts of individuals with aortic disease. This was a study of survivors of aortic dissection, and it was a compilation of what are you doing and how do you feel, and 314 survivors of aortic dissection. And as you might imagine, a third of patients have new onset depression or anxiety, and a quarter of patients no longer get any form of physical activity. And the majority of patients who responded to the study were no longer sexually active because of fear of consequence. But of those who did respond to the affirmative and exercised routinely had a lower level of depression and actually a lower blood pressure than those who didn't exercise. So there's a lot of benefit to physical exercise and activity in people with aortopathy. So for recreational sports, non-competitive sports, in Marfan syndrome and related disorders, all major societies, the Heart Association, the European Society, the Lilly Deeds Foundation, the Marfan Foundation, are very uniform and consistent in the guidelines that it's important to exercise, but they favor non-competitive, non-collision sports with dynamic activities at a moderate pace. And in general, you can do that with just mild breathlessness, or able to communicate in a normal conversational voice. It's safe. Of course, everyone has to think about their own individual circumstance and verify that position. But avoid straining and grunting, doing things that reach muscle fatigue, because that's what affects blood pressure response in the aorta. And so large numbers of activities performed in recreation are very safe for the majority of people depending on circumstances, whereas some are intuitively discouraged. And if you think about a perceived activity level, where the green is a safe level of activity, or below is certainly safe, and we have difficulty talking, singing, or whistling, well, we whistle on exercise anyway, you're going to be safe. So I thank you for your attention today. I think everybody understands how important it is to be active in physical